Good morning. It is time to return to Red Ice Hockey and my 1942-43 playoffs. Again, the Detroit Red Wings and the Montreal Canadiens and Boston and Toronto. The winner of these two five-game series will meet for a seven-game championship. The Warriors, very, very cool. I love this period of all professional sports early, before things became corporate, before things became so... I don't know what, over officious or over adjudicated. But either way, it's just fantastic that John had the gumption to add really early hockey, and I love it. Detroit, the series is tied 1-1 as Detroit won the first game in the series at home, and then Montreal, let's go take a look back here. Montreal in the second game won 3-0 as Bobo, I think is pronounced Bobo, shut out the Detroit Red Wings. So here we go, folks. This is rather important as we start a two-game series at home for Montreal. This would be a huge advantage. If Montreal gets this victory, they'd be a 2-1 advantage, and then, of course, with the potential game decider, a series decider at home in their eyes. Toronto failed to capitalize on this opportunity. They were tied in a 1-1 series, and they had this game won, and Boston found a way to win it in overtime in one of the best games I have played to date. And I have been playing Red Ice Hockey now for over a month. But that game was fantastic in a sudden death overtime finish. All right, here we go. Let's roll dice. I probably will do less referencing of the dice now and just start talking about the game. So here we go. Red Wings on offense. It's going to be a power play opportunity for the Red Wings as someone ends up in the box. And here we go. The Red Wings have a chance early on special teams. No, they're going to come away with one shot on goal as the party. Montreal back to full strength as they somehow managed to squash that power play. Here we go. Montreal with the puck. They're moving down the ice. It's going to be a power play opportunity for them as well as things are getting a little feisty. We've had 3 shots on goal already in this segment as Montreal attempts to score, taking advantage of the power play. No, not going to happen. But they do lead 3 shots to 1 shot so far. Going into the next segment of time here, it is the Red Wings, again, moving the puck easily around the ice, keeping the Montreal defense backskating. And we're looking at another power play opportunity as they have frustrated the Montreal defense into committing a penalty. And unfortunately, Detroit manages no shots on goal during that 5-minute segment as they are now have shot just... Remember, they were shut out in the last game. The Montreal Canadiens, both defense and goalie, played well. But Detroit now forechecking at center ice, fighting to get the puck back early here in this opportunity. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. And they do indeed quash the Montreal, but not without Montreal getting 4 shots during this before midway through the first period. But Detroit gets the puck back. Montreal decides they're going to do same as Montreal is pushing the defense here in the mid-ice and in the offensive zone. It's going to be a power play opportunity, so they get a little too defensive, create a power play opportunity. They've had 2 shots on goal, have Detroit, and here we go. The power play is going to be a no-goal situation. And again, Detroit managed 2 shots on goal during that segment. Holy cow, folks. Right now, the Red Wings are struggling to get shots, much less goals. Here we go. Montreal on the offense, moving the puck around. In control is Benoit as he is controlling the puck. It's nice wide passes, spreading out the Detroit defense, trying to create angles on the goalie. And they will get only 1 shot here. And it looks as though it's going to be... No, and it's going to lead to another power play opportunity. This has been feisty, folks. We have seen 10 minutes of penalty time in the first period so far, and we're only 15 minutes in. And now some of these guys may have shared time in the box together, right, during these segments. So not quite 10 minutes of total. I mean, total, yes, but there might have been times where 2 guys were in the box, right? Anyway, point is, we got a power play opportunity for Montreal. Again, they have a really good chance here. And, oh, no, they don't get the goal. They get one shot during this opportunity, and they don't make it happen. Detroit going to work on offense again, working the puck the way they like to run their offense. It's going to lead to 2 shots on goal in this segment. And another power play opportunity. Unbelievable how rough and tumble this game has been. And goal! And there it is, folks. You get enough power plays, you're going to score a goal. And there it is, folks. The goal, hand up, is Liscombe as they all race to Liscombe to give him a pat on the back. And we are going to see 2 assists. The first assist came by Abel. And Detroit draws first blood on the road. And the second assist comes from 68, Eddie Wares. And there it is, folks. Abel and Wares help Liscombe earn a power play goal. And that was a 3-shot power play. And they managed to do it. And the crowd here in Montreal, quiet, stony quiet, as if the world has come to an end. Face-off, Montreal with the puck. They're working their offense now with an opportunity to maybe make something out of this. They've managed 2 shots on goal at this point, and it's going to be a extra goal opportunity is irrelevant. So that's going to leave a period horn sounds, and folks, it's going to be Detroit 1 with a power play goal by Liscombe going into the second period. It is 1-0 visitors, and Detroit fans listening on the radio and that have traveled to see this game are right now feeling pretty good. They would love to steal back a game here after Montreal shut them out last game in Detroit. All right, here it is. Offense. Detroit's working the puck. They've managed 2 shots on goal at this point, and it's going to be a no-goal chance here. And they had 2 shots. Detroit working their offense, trying to get something going. Montreal poke checks it away, but Detroit quickly in the back pedal is poke checking and battling to keep them out of scoring position. And it's going to be 3 shots on goal. However, 7-8 is going to be... where am I at? I'm looking on the wrong one. No goal. Beautiful 3-shot opportunity. And Detroit smothers that and takes over on offense. Here we go. Maybe a breakaway. It's going to be no. The horn will sound, and we're going to see them with another power play opportunity. Again, these guys are feisty. They've had 1 shot on goal. The power play drop is going to be a no-goal situation, so they manage only 2 shots on goal in that frame. And Detroit playing their own aggressive style of defense, poke checking away. There it is. Detroit again on defense. They are stymieing the Montreal Canadiens as Benoit, Landrilli, and Blake cannot get free of skaters. It's going to be a no-goal situation, and they do manage, though, to get 1 shot on goal. The Detroit defense playing brilliant hockey right now with a 1-goal lead for Mowers. And again, Montreal decided to change tactics. They're going on defense, and they stymie Detroit to a power play opportunity. Excuse me. And here we go. And they've stymied them at this point, allowing only 3 shots on goal. Here's an opportunity to expand that. No. So 3 shots on goal. Detroit now with power play advantage, as they have had multiple opportunities on the power play. Montreal, here we go. Montreal, the Detroit defense has decided to change that. They have literally dominated this entire period as Detroit has won defense on all 3 phases. And that is not good for the Montreal Canadiens. 13 is going to be a no-goal situation. Montreal did manage to get off 4 shots against that Detroit defense. And that tells me that Mowers is playing a brilliant game tonight. Brilliant game tonight. Here we go. It's going to be the defense of Detroit. Or excuse me, the defense of Montreal in the final 5 minutes. That's going to be another power play chance. Holy cow. Montreal is playing rough and tumble hockey. and it's going to amount to no goal. Detroit gets 3 more shots, and that's going to wrap up Detroit's opportunities. Let's see if Montreal can win the offense this time. No. Detroit for an entire 20 minutes is dominated defensively. That is unbelievable. And it's going to mean Montreal with 2 shots on goal gets this opportunity, and it's going to be nothing. 2 shots on goal, and folks, that is it for the second period as it comes to an end. Detroit with 10 shots on goal for that period, and 13 shots on goal for Montreal, and they could not get past the netminder mowers for Detroit. Well, my gosh. So 6 shots on goal for Detroit in the first period. They managed to get past Babolt, maybe it's Babolt, and 79 and 10 shots on goal from. So Montreal leading with 23 shots on goal after 2, and Detroit with only 16 shots on goal, but they've managed to put 1 in the net. So this third period is huge for the hometown Montreal Canadiens. They need to steal back a goal to tie it up and force overtime. Of course, they would love to put 2 on Mowers and then win this first home game with an opportunity to have the game-deciding game next tomorrow night. Here it is. Detroit opens up this period, and again, their offense is getting the job done. Unbelievable. However, only 1 shot on goal at this stage and no goal. So 1 shot, nothing, as Montreal gets the puck back. Montreal on the move. They're going to use their offense. They finally break down the Detroit defense, and this is going to lead to a big play here. Goal! There it is, and they're going to score on 2 shots. They're going to get a goal, baby. That goal comes at 65. That's going to be O'Connor, and the fans on their feet, and they erupt. They erupt to see 2 assist men, 84. That's going to be Sands. Sands and Portland. Portland's second point of this series. Portland and Sands help O'Connor knot the game, folks. That is huge. And there's the first time Montreal's offense has showed up in 25 minutes of action as far as the actual offensive chart. Here we go. It's going to be offense for Boston. So Boston here on the road, they are, despite Montreal's efforts, they are going to execute their offense. Let's see if it earns them something here. It's going to earn them a no. It's going to get them only no shots on goal. So there's an example of them being in control, but not finding a shot. Wow, and Montreal, who could not break that defense, now with 2 shots on goal, and is going to create just 2 shots on goal, and we're going midway through the third period, folks. It's knotted up at 1. We may be seeing another overtime here. Again, Detroit on offense with currently 2 shots on goal, and they are not going to get any more than that as their offense has been executing, and Montreal's allowed them to play their offense, but Detroit can't find a good look at the net. We're going to be looking at Detroit's defense finally back on Montreal, and it's going to be a power play opportunity, though. So Detroit gets a little feisty, puts a man in the box, and we're not going to see anything come out of it after 3 shots on goal. This is it, folks. The final 5 minutes. Can somebody win this game? Neither team is going to go to an empty net. This is a tie game. They want to, if they have to, they'll play sudden death overtime. It's going to be the Montreal defense finally stepping up. So they've been coasting. They ended the second period playing tight defense. The entire period they've been playing back. And ironically, in the final 5 minutes, their defense tightens down, and I think it's going to be a goal. Yep, damn. So they tighten down, give up 4 shots on goal, and we're going to get a goal. And that goal comes from 86. That is going to be Detroit taking the lead from Connie Brown. And he gets help. He gets help from Watson. That's Watson's first point of the series. And folks, the fans here are stunned as Montreal early in this period ties the game. And here we go in the final 5 minutes. The final 5 minutes, Watson helps Brown get him in the lead. And folks, Montreal fans stunned as Detroit in the final 5 minutes may hold on to steal this first game. And we're going to roll for an empty net chance There is not an empty net chance. So they've decided they don't want to risk it. They're going to play their style of hockey and see if they can't tie the Red Wings here in the final segment. Defense. Red Wings, though, buckle down, playing good defense this entire game. And it's going to be a power play opportunity, though, so they got a little aggressive. And they have a pretty good chance. We got to roll low. No, that's going to be it. And the horn sounds. And Detroit's going to win this game 2-1. Shots on goal is going to be 23. Only 23 shots for the Detroit Red Wings in a victory, folks. Wow. And 32 shots on net for the Montreal Canadiens, and they can only muster one goal against Mowers of Detroit. And folks, it was predicted Detroit was the I won't say a big favorite, but Detroit, well, maybe. I mean, Detroit, they don't have the SRS, but the reality is Detroit is the favorite here, basically, and they've managed. What's more amazing, on the road, on away ice, 23 shots on goal, and they produced 2. So the Bolt, maybe not a great day for him. This puts a serious pressure on Montreal in their second home game, as that'll be the series decider if they cannot find a way to beat the Detroit goalie. And back here, Toronto loses a heartbreaking exciting overtime game to Boston, as Boston also steals the first home game in Toronto. So both Toronto and Montreal are facing elimination at home. So that will be, I will begin those tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching. This has been Red Ice Hockey by John Turnbull and Powder Blue Sports.